Big news just rolled out through Draft Digital today. This is an Amazon KDP alternative some of you may not be aware of. You're going to probably be aware of them now because back in March of 2022, they just announced the acquisition of a smaller company. Well, actually not small to be exact, Smashwords. Smashwords was another Amazon KDP alternative. Now, this was a huge deal because it brought together two important superpowers, if you will, in the indie author community. Now, some of you are probably saying, how is this pertinent? Why is this huge news? Well, naturally, you would think moving a giant company like Smashwords and merging it in with Draft Digital would just be a slam dunk victory and no problems, no fuss, no muss. But they were taking it nice and slow because they've seen their contemporaries have complete and total train wrecks. Anybody might not remember, but I'll remind you, in 2020, both Ingram Spark and Lulu had tried to change their platforms to some disastrous results. So seeing the writing on the wall, Draft Digital said, you know what, let's take this one step at a time and slowly merge these entities. And so now they've just released a press release, an announcement in their press release saying that officially they have integrated Smashwords with Draft Digital. Now, there's a little bit more detail, so I think it's probably important that we just dive into this press release and this announcement. If you got questions, please drop them inside the chat. This is not going to be too long of a live broadcast, but I think this is important that you guys should pay attention, especially if you're an indie author that's really struggling and want to, you ready for this? Hit bestsellers lists that's not on Amazon. Yeah, some people don't really see the value in Amazon bestseller these days, but they do see in other areas. So let's just take this one position at a time. Let's go ahead and transition over here. Man, I look really blue up inside this, so I'm just going to put my cover up here. There we go. Alrighty, so with that being said, Draft Digital. So, aside from giving authors one more place to reach readers and make sales, this news comes with some perks. The industry's highest royalties. Okay, one advantage in owning your own storefront means that you can offer authors and publishers a much higher royalty than they could earn anywhere else. The Smashwords store will be 80 to 83%, depending on the cart size when the readers make their purchases. That means that the more books a reader buys at one time, the more you can earn. I've said this for a while, and I don't think enough people have heard me on this one. The Smashwords ebook store is phenomenal. It is probably one of the best ways to fulfill your ebook orders because, one, you get a higher royalty than any other platform, and two, the bestsellers list thing. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because I'm sure they're going to go ahead and highlight that. Let's come on back over here to some of the bullet points. Brand recognition by millions. We're not starting from scratch. The Smashwords store has been around for a long time and already existing a market of readers. Okay, so this is another point that is important to kind of bring up here is I've had a Smashwords store since roughly 2015. Yeah, 2015 seems about right, if not 2016 latest. And I really have never pushed those links, ever. Like, I'm lazy about it. I'm really lazy. But I'm still getting organic sales through the Smashwords store, which is phenomenal. This means that there's organic traffic to be had over on Smashwords. So this is why it's so super huge that if you're really looking to get the best royalty possible and also reach a large reader base, the Smashwords store is the way to go. All right, next item here we're going to go ahead is data to bestsellers lists. All right, I want to read this one verbatim so everybody can kind of understand this because even Mark Coker, the founder of Smashwords, had covered this in an interview on my channel here earlier this year. I didn't know this. But as the largest seller of indie ebooks on the planet, we have something to say, and we're saying it to major bestseller lists produced by publications in the US. While we can't specify every publication our sales data goes to, we do contribute to some of the most well-known publications around. We also contribute indie bestseller lists to industry publications such as Publishers Weekly, In Detail Magazine, and Locus Magazine. So while we can't guarantee you'll have a bestseller, we do make sure someone notices when you do. So this is huge in that now it's just as simple as setting up your Smashwords store. Now, setting it up is just as simple as just publishing a book through Smashwords, which now you can do through Drafted Digital. Just go straight over to Drafted Digital at this point. And we're going to go into my dashboard and I'm going to see the prompts because I haven't opened it up yet. So, all right, let's go back over here. Next item, author-friendly refund policy. There are some very specific circumstances under which readers could or should be allowed to return an ebook they've purchased. Maybe they bought it by mistake, or maybe the file is corrupt. Smashwords Store has strict guidelines about returns to avoid scenarios where readers might purchase the book, read it, and return it, thus cutting the author out of their royalty. Yeah, someone should have gave KDP that memo a long time ago. Smashwords had that on lockdown. Now, there's one other item inside this one here is no exclusivity. You don't have to publish exclusively on Smashwords Store in order to utilize that. Now, if you happen to have your book through KDP Select, you're going to probably have to avoid Smashwords, but if you're looking to publish wide, then Smashwords Store is definitely the way to go. Now, they've got the numbers as well, just in case you were kind of like, I'm not really sure if this is for me. The full impact of the D2D Smashwords merger is still unfolding, and there's a lot coming that we know will change the game for you and all authors and publishers, and much of that comes from the influence that Drafted Digital gains from having greater volume. As of this post, we have 264,000 plus authors, 930,000 plus ebooks, 20,000 plus print books rapidly growing, and hundreds of retailers and thousands of libraries in hundreds of countries worldwide. So this is really cool to see that, look, Drafted Digital is run by indie authors for indie authors. I've met quite a few of the people on the Drafted Digital team, and they're not the type of people that are predatory, that are going to be going after your paycheck. They want to see you succeed. So this is all part of the phase 1 integration of Smashwords over into Drafted Digital. So it's really cool to see we've got the Smashwords Store built into Drafted Digital and can utilize this. Let's take a look at a couple more of the bullet points that they went ahead and addressed here. All of this is just phase 1. We have 2 more phases to go before the integration between Drafted Digital and Smashwords is complete, and the stuff we have coming up is going to be worth the wait. In the next phase, we'll be adding Smashwords coupons, which the Smashwords coupons are really awesome. It's a great way to incentivize your readers to come and purchase your book inside your Smashwords store. Early access to new releases. Sell your book early to superfans at the Smashwords store before the book goes live anywhere else. Perfect for flash sales and growing your email subscriber list. So there are so many implications that can kind of come about with this particular integration. All that to say this, if you happen to be tuning in just now and you're like, Dale, could you just break it down? Why is this so important? Why is this a huge announcement? Because these 2 entities that had worked separately up until March 2022, they came together. They formed this amazing indie author-centric company. And part of that rollout and that merge is getting the Smashwords store. And to me, I think that is the path of least resistance. That is going to be the way. If you're the type of person that says, okay, I want to get more national recognition beyond just Amazon's one site for their bestseller list for a cup of coffee. I want to get in to where the big dogs are starting to be noticed. And this is the way in. So, with that being said, we're going to go over into my Smashwords account and open it on up. And give me just a moment. I don't want to show my passwords or anything crazy like that. And if you don't have a Drafted Digital account, you can go on over draft2digital.com, or you can even use a referral link. That's dalelinks.com/D2D. That's D2D. Bear with me for just a moment. All right. So here's what's popped up on the screen for me. We have good news. Drafted Digital can now distribute your catalog to Smashwords. Your books are not yet available through Smashwords. You can add them now or visit any books publishing page to add this sales channel. If you have any questions, please contact support. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say this authoritatively, I'm pretty sure that if we add all the books, it shouldn't touch any of the drafted books. So if you've got a book that's in draft, I don't think it's just going to toss it over into Smashwords. So we're just going to go ahead and add all my books to Smashwords. That's it. Super simple. It's kind of processing right now. Great. Now we've got it put on over into Smashwords. So this is fantastic. I'm really excited, really pumped up about it. What do you think about the news? Definitely would love to hear from you. I see that there is 54 of you watching from all walks. Do me a favor. Where are you watching from? Are you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter? And let me know where you're watching from inside the world. I definitely would love to hear from you about the news. And have you used the Smashwords store before? Melly X says, this is starting to sound game changer for self-pub market, taking the seeming monopoly from KDP a little bit. Yes, that is it. Look, folks, I do a lot of videos about Amazon KDP, but I'm a video content creator at the core of things when it comes to this. I talk about KDP a lot because that's what people are looking for. Don't make the mistake that I believe you should be beholden to that platform alone. KDP's fantastic, but I think every indie author really needs to put the independent into their author name, all right? Get out there, collect more of the money that you have rightly earned by putting together these publications and putting them out into the world. I see Valerie says she's watching from France, YouTube. Nancy L's watching from Ontario, Canada. Jax is watching from YouTube in Nashville. Tony Jacobs says, I'm only on Amazon right now. This sounds like the next level and where I need to be. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, Tony, I think Disable Your Disability would be a fantastic addition within libraries if you haven't considered doing that yet. Duke of Lily White says, Los Angeles. Nice. Candid says, I'm here on YouTube from Trinidad and Tobago. Yes. James Emotions, Nigeria. Big shout out to all of Nigerian watchers. I see you guys. Believe it or not, Nigeria is my number 2 audience on all of YouTube. So I appreciate all of my Nigerian folks out there for watching and supporting. That is really, really cool. I'm Michael watching from Nigeria. See, look, my Nigerian folks are coming out in force here. So that's really cool. YouTube, Texas. Nice. SL Michael's watching on YouTube. No, but you got me thinking, Dale, especially about the bestsellers list. Yes. Yes, I'm going to be leaning a lot more into my Smashwords store on my future publications for sure. Keith Wheeler Books. I never use Smashwords because of the meat grinder, but I love D2D. See? Now you don't even have to worry about the meat grinder anymore. Now, it will be available if you want it. From what I hear, they're not taking it down yet. Dale, can you talk more about how to use Smashwords to develop an email list? Ooh. So let's just say, for instance, that you want to publish something like a perma-free book. That's one of the avenues you can do. So for instance, you can publish an ebook 100% free through Smashwords. And what you would end up doing in instances like that is you would have a lead magnet within that perma-free book at the very front and at the very back of the book that would get people to subscribe to your email newsletter. Other ways to do that too, as well as to nurture your list, and that you could make it available strictly in the Smashwords store. Yes, it will be organically discovered through the Smashwords store. That's not a big deal. You're probably only going to announce it to your list then. So you could say, I've got a flash sale right now for 99 cents for my book that hasn't released yet. If you would like to take a look at it, it's over at xyz.com. You'll get all the details about where that will be online, but you'll have a specific store link that'll have that. So great question, by the way. If you guys got more questions, please fire away. We're not going to stay on for much longer here because I do have a doctor's appointment that I'll be to here. R.A. Morley says, oh, I guess I was supposed to say I'm in California. Great to see you there, buddy. Stephen Serrell says, Dale's going international. Yes, you know it. Zenda Storytime, watching on YouTube from London. Nice. My folks over there in the UK. Great to hear from you. Joanna Stryker says, love you, Dale. Oh, Joanna, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Jocelyn Carter, one of my favorite people in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Galen Michael. Guys, gals, do yourself a favor. Go over, follow Galen Michael over on Twitter. That's Galen. Galen's awesome. I love the stuff that he's doing over on Twitter. Very thought-provoking posts. You're not just dealing with the same old stuff. William Brinkman says, Chicago area, YouTube, I like Smashwords. I'm hoping my next book will do better there. I'd love to hear from more of you. If you've used Smashwords before, if you haven't used Smashwords before, and if you are familiar with Drafted Digital at all. I got to meet the Drafted Digital team over at 20 Books this past month. It was so fantastic. Kevin Tomlinson, good friend of mine. Love the guy to death. He introduced me to Jim, who's on the team, who came over from the Smashwords team. He and I have commonality in our music choices. We love the same music. I'm hoping I didn't miss any. Marcus Douglas, I see you're watching from North Carolina. YouTube, nice. Lysanda Moore says, I've never used Smashwords, but I'm getting tired of scrambling on KDP. Lysanda, I'm sorry to point at you, but I'm going to point at you in this instance, and I'm doing it in a good way. Maybe I should point with my... They say you're supposed to do it like this. Do it at fingers seems accusatory. I don't want to seem accusatory here to you folks. At any rate, go over, give it a shot. Try at least one publication on there to see how it rolls. Go through Drafted Digital, obviously, because now they have access to the Smashwords store, and you can deselect any distribution you don't want to through Drafted Digital. So let's say, for instance, you only want the Smashwords store. Just remove all the rest of the distribution when you get ready to publish. Ari Morley says, I haven't used Smashwords, but I just started with D2D this year. Nice, nice. Tuning in from Salt Lake City, Utah, Melly X, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. If you guys got questions, please fire away. Ron Ward Jr. says, barely caught this live. You going to leave it up after you sign off? Yes, I will be leaving it up. It'll be unlisted over on my podcast channel, but it will stay live over on the main channel of Dale L. Roberts. It's free and all the cool kids are doing it. Yes, absolutely. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to drop my referral link in here. Let me make sure that's correct here. Give me just a second. If you have not set up a Drafted Digital account yet, then please use my referral link. Let me make sure this works. Yep, it works. All right, so I'm going to drop this inside the chat. Please feel free to go ahead if you want to get yourself set up with a Drafted Digital account. That is my referral link. The Refer a Friend program, honestly, doesn't really make me a ton of money. So if you don't sign up through that, it's no big deal to me. Brooke Dwyer says, I have 2 Christmas books with D2D. Will Smashbox actually sounds kind of cooler. Smashwords end of year sale be beneficial? Yes. Get the end of year sale for sure. Every time they have a sale, take advantage of it. That's another thing that's really cool about the Smashwords store is they have these almost quarterly sales that goes through, and you can apply certain coupons to it, and you can distribute it to your email list and your following. But here's the cool thing: even if you don't, I've gotten tons of organic sales from it. It's crazy. Like, it's really, really good. And they really put a lot of time and attention into this. Ostentatious says, how does D2D and Smashwords compare to the ebook publishing from Ingram Spark? It's not the same reach as Ingram Spark, but to my opinion on this one right here, it has different distribution and a bit more control than Ingram Spark. Not to mention, Ingram Spark requires an upload fee, and then some people will make the argument, well, you can find some coupon codes and blah, 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 yickety schmackety. I'm an Alliance of Independent Authors member, so I get 5 codes per month, so I could waive those type of things. But what Ingram Spark doesn't have is a native store like what Smashwords has. Having a Smashwords store accessibility is the thing that's the game changer. A lot of people might take me lightly on this. Don't take me lightly, because this is an avenue. Seriously, I've been super passive. In fact, I don't do any marketing for a lot of my books because, well, sometimes I'm lazy. I'm doing videos here like this for you folks. And it's crazy that I actually sell books without marketing a single thing over there. So that's why it's a big deal. Ingram Spark, yeah, you could get the organic sales, but you don't have necessarily a store to send it to. Not to mention Ingram Spark's royalty versus Smashwords royalty, which is 80 to 83%. That is the highest industry royalty payout of any platform. Like, it is the best. The only way you could get something comparable to that would be off-platform alternatives like Gumroad or PayHip or things like that. But even then, they don't have the organic reach that Smashwords store does. Bay SQ says, hi, I want to offer promotion for your channel. Oh, great. Cool. No. So let's make sure we block that person here. There we go. Perfect. Bye. Lulu has a store, but they don't have the organic traffic like Smashwords. That's so true. Simon says, I'm watching from Jamaica. Awesome. Susan says, does D2D Smashwords distribute and sell on Amazon too? They do. Yes, they do. Actually, they do. Or is that a dumb question? No, not at all a dumb question. I don't know anything about it. Yep, they have distribution. In fact, let me go ahead and I will track down and I will tell you all of the avenues they distribute to. Let's see here. Distribution. Okay, so it goes out to Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, including Kobo Plus, Tolino, Overdrive, Biblioteca, Scribd, Baker & Taylor, Hoopla, Vivlio, BorrowBox, and now, of course, Smashwords. And so that right there, it just shows you the reach. Now, you do not have to utilize every one of those avenues, but it is certainly worth taking a look at. Galen says, geez, Dale, I've barely seen you in months, and now you're popping up all over the place. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. William Brinkman says D2D prints more for people who just paperback out. Ingram's more for getting books into bookstores. That's true. Yep. Ingram does have that reach into bookstores. However, that does not mean you're assured placement on any kind of bookstore store shelves. Hoopla would be awesome. In fact, it's really neat that I can take the Hoopla app and I can check out. By the way, if anybody has not read any of my books, you can check it out on Hoopla. Yeah, pretty cool, right? It is available through Hoopla. So Amazon keywords for books, promotional strategies for books, and Amazon reviews for books are distributing through there. I'm not sure if the full 3 are put together yet through the Amazon Self-Publisher Series collection. I didn't see that listed yet, but go get my books on Hoopla. You can check it out in your local library. Dennis Brown watching from Nigeria. See, I told you, man, Nigeria is showing up in full force. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not even joking in the slightest. U.S. is my #1 watching audience. My second best audience is Nigeria. You guys came out of nowhere over the last year. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Is it possible to pull a KDP Select book from the program to put it up on D2D, or is that asking for trouble? No, you can. You can. Just make sure that you fulfill your obligations, your 90-day agreement for that given ebook before you move it over there. So when you go to deselect or unenroll from the KDP Select program, wait out the rest of the days. You can go in and ask for it to be removed completely, but I just say just write it out, whatever the rest of your contract has left over, and then you can go over to Draft to Digital for sure. Hoopla and Overdrive are also connected to libraries. Yes, so a huge reach increase, I assume. Absolutely. See, I read a lot of Overdrive. By the way, how you doing, Jenna? I sent you an email and I never got a response back. I'm kind of sad. Seriously, Jenna, reach out to me via email. I got something for you. By the way, folks, go over, follow Jenna the Soul Writer over on YouTube. She puts out some fantastic videos. Yes, local library. See, look at that. I love it. It's great to see everybody excited about these news. As just a recap here, nothing huge has changed with Draft to Digital or Smashwords. Smashwords is still going to be around, but now they have the integration of the Smashwords store with Draft to Digital. If you haven't considered going there just yet, I recommend, again, go over, get yourself set up with the Draft to Digital account, and get yourself set to where you can actually have your book listed in a Smashwords store, because it will be game-changing. And with, of course, the end-of-year sale promotion that they do, it's a big opportunity to sell more of your ebooks this holiday season. So there's the big news, Lee Ralph. Hello from Seattle. I'm a fan, Beth Ann. Thank you so much, Beth Ann. I appreciate you tuning in here. Actually, funnily enough, because of D2D, I found that more people prefer using Apple Books to get my ebook over using KDP 7-to-1. See? Things that you get to learn by using Draft to Digital. Folks, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to go ahead and have to disconnect. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the meantime, make sure you stay tuned to all of my different networks here, because we got some big things rolling out. And we're also planning on a short mini series, kind of a mini book rescue series, if you will. You want to make sure you stay tuned to the main channel at dalelinks.com/YouTube. In the meantime, folks, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. My apologies if I didn't get all the questions and answers and such like that, but keep those comments coming, because I'll try to circle back around later and get them answered. Take care, folks. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Special shout out to my channel members for both the podcast channel and the main channel. Without your support, some projects we do at Self-Publishing with Dale would be much harder to fund. If you want to contribute to the cause, visit dalelinks.com/memberships for details and get your on-screen shout out at the end of each broadcast. Till later, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll see you soon.